We just have people. This is great. We're just flowing in left and right. I love it. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Alana Hubert Katz. Let me actually change my name in the little box here so you have all my information. So you actually have my correct name. I'll put my handle on here if anybody likes Instagram. And I will throw my email on here. All right. For those of you who might say that name looks familiar. I am the founder of Ignite After Dark Nationwide Empowered. So all those emails you get, all the communication, all the things, that's me. Hi, welcome. I've been an agent since 2015. Time goes really fast. I was saying 5 years for about 8 years, and then someone reminded me it's been past 5 years. When I hit 10 years, I was saying 6 years. It was really hilarious. Or I found it funny. So I've been an agent since 2015. I've been a local coach since 2017, local and national coach and trainer with Keller Williams International, and other brokerages since 2018, locally and nationally and worldwide. Taught in Canada. I'm going to be going to Thailand in March. Very excited about that. Just found out. So that's me. Um, I am from Maryland, so I saw some local people in the chat box with Maryland and DC and Virginia. So I am right here in the DMV area, right in Maryland, from Philly originally. So I'm an East Coaster, but love traveling. So hopefully I can come out to one or all of your locations at some point and meet all of you in person. So that's my thing. All right. So tonight we are going to go ahead and go through how to capture leads and how to grow your database. Okay. So in the chat box, by the way, I know last week was first week of Ignite. If you missed it, the recordings were emailed out. They will be emailed again at the very end of the week, just so everybody knows a little behind the scenes. I go through, sit down on Fridays. I edit all of them because they have to be edited before actually putting them into a folder and manipulating them a little bit to get the links for you. So it's not a immediate process. So you do get them at the end of the week. I was going somewhere with that. Totally lost my thought with that. That's awesome. Like I said, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. this morning to fly back from Florida, visiting a family to here to teach all of you my favorite class, which is how to capture more business. So in the chat box, why is tonight's topic capturing leads, growing your database important to you as an agent? Why do you guys think that's really important to you as an agent? Go ahead and throw your thoughts in the chat box. All right, I love that. The first one I see is leads equal sign, dollar sign, right? Leads equal money. Correct. All right. So if your cameras are on, if by the way, if your cameras are off, please turn them on if you're able to. If you're not, you can use the little reaction button down below. Let's all actually practice the reaction button. So at the very bottom of Zoom, you'll see it'll say react and you'll see send with effects. So for example, here's a little, there you go, some rocket ships there. Right? You can also give a little hand clap if someone says something or you hear something that you really like. Give a little hand clap, or you can give a little heart to it. Or if you really love something that you hear throughout Ignite, by the way, not just tonight, but through all of the Ignite sessions that you take, all the classes, anytime you take a class on Zoom with any instructor, that react button is really beneficial for not just the participants on Zoom, but also the instructors. Because come on, looking at everybody doing this, did that just wake you up a little bit? I mean, come on, let's get little balloons going here. Right? Oh, I love that, Sheila. You got some money bags going. See, I love that. Perfect. Okay. So whenever you hear something tonight that you really like, that you love, that you're going to implement, that stands out to you, go ahead and use a react button. So I'm seeing here leads. So leads are important because they equal money. Absolutely. It's how you grow your business. Yes, leads equal business. Sellers and buyers, leads, listings, leverage. Ooh, somebody's reading the MREA book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. I like it. All right. So everybody was correct in the chat box. Leads is your business. Okay. The definition of a lead is a person. A lead is simply someone you haven't connected with about real estate. That's all a lead is. Okay, it's a person. Raise your hand or raise your digital hand if you talk to at least one person today, not just in general, not even about real estate. Have you talked to one person at all today? Okay, so all of you, I love this, all of you talk to a lead today. Again, that doesn't mean they have a real estate need. It just means you talked to a lead today. Okay, fantastic. So, the next thing we're going to talk about tonight is how to grow your database, and we're going to factor into that through open houses and social media. Okay, so the first part, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through different ways to capture business. We're going to talk about database, and we're going to talk about open houses and social media. It's a lot to pack in 2 hours. So I'm going to share my screen and dive in as I go through everything. By the way, those with the raise hands, you can go ahead and click the react button. There's a little lower hand button. Yeah, it's fun to use these things. So as I'm going through this, it's a lot of material in a short amount of time. Go ahead and in the chat box, any questions that you have throughout this, I do have the chat box open over here. So if you see me go like this, because I'm looking at the chat box. So any questions you have as we're going through this, put in the chat box, and I'll be getting to that. I'll be answering questions. You can also raise your digital hand because if you're thinking it, somebody else on here is also thinking it. And by one person asking, you're helping your fellow agents. And while, yes, real estate can feel like a solo sport sometimes going after growing our business, it really isn't, right? Every agent should be supporting each other. All right. So with that being said, let's share my screen here. Just a second. As I pull it up, there we go. All right, so like I mentioned, capture leads, grow your database, open houses, and social media. That's what we'll be going through and Ignite After Dark, your path to production. Basically, your path to money, right? And by the way, money's not a bad word, all right? I thought so for many years. That's how I grew up. It's just, you don't talk about it. It's kind of a secret word. But after being in real estate for multiple years, and especially in my first few years, my favorite quote that I got out of Keller Williams actually, but it's out of a book. Don't ask me which book. I have no idea. If somebody knows it, great. Throw it in the chat box. Is the purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. Whatever that means to you, whether it's giving back, traveling, paying off things, just be a little freer, whatever that word means to you, right? All right, few slides we do have to go through. TCPA Act, make sure you are following it. If you don't know what it is, do some research on it. It's very, very important. Make sure you are following the do not call list rules. Fair Housing Act. I'm not going to read all these to you. They're all in the recordings. They're also found on when if you're with Keller Williams in command under Connect, it's all under there. AI disclaimer that basically says if you use a lot of AI, I'm an AI junkie, as I like to call myself today. I probably have used one or two different AI apps on my phone today and on my computer. Probably a good 20 to 30 times already today. Right. For anything and everything, real estate, not real estate. So just know that anything AI related, do due diligence. It's not always correct. Everything's copyrighted. All right, we got through the slides. Now we can actually have some fun. Let's go. So here's the thing, your number one job as a real estate agent, your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. Okay. Now, not everybody we talk to today is motivated today, but they might be motivated down the road. In a few slides, you'll understand what that means in more detail, or I'll go over what that means in more detail. Right. But our job is to talk to people, whether it's in person, over the phone, text, DMing, talks to people, meaning connecting, right, with a lead to get in the path to learn about when and find those motivated buyers and sellers to be able to help them. As I mentioned, we're going to be going through capturing leads, growing your database. You'll also hear it referred to as data bank because your database, meaning a CRM system, a customer relationship management system, not an Excel spreadsheet, but a system that has automation for emails, automation for things. So it works while you sleep. The more people you put into it, right? It's almost like putting things into a high interest savings account. The more you put in, the more you make down the road. Okay. And then obviously social media and open houses. So let's dive in. Okay. So here's the thing. We're going to talk more about capturing leads, but I want to talk before we capture leads, we have to learn the messaging behind what we're going to say with these leads. Okay. One of the classes I teach a few times a year is all about the language of the psychology behind the yes, what we say to people. By the way, my background, just anybody who takes any class with me, you're going to learn a little psychology because that's my background. So I tie it into everything I do. Um, well, that's one of my backgrounds, anyways. So you have the message, what you're going to say, right? And then who are you saying it to and when? So for example, and I always write things. So I always, it's fun on Zoom because like I have like these boxes around my screen that you can't see. I should probably take a picture of it, but these boxes around my screen that covers up all the words. So I have to move all the boxes. Let's move some boxes here. Okay. So for example, one question we want to ask is what could be an offer? Meaning, what is something we can say that would generate a response? Now, this is just about real estate, right? So this is obviously about real estate. So I might say to, by the way, if I call your name, you don't have to come off mute. I'm just using names as I see them on like my little Brady Bunch screen, as I like to call it, right? So I might say to Tim, right? Let's say that I find out that Tim wants to buy a house, right? He's a renter and he wants to buy a house. So my message to him, one, needs to match the market. And two, again, make an offer. Make an offer means not make an offer on a house. Make an offer mean I'm going to say a phrase to him to get him to respond. Right. So it's called a MOFR, MOFIR, make offer for immediate response. So it might sound something like maybe I'm calling Tim and he's a potential buyer and he's not calling me back. Maybe I talked to him once and now he's not calling me back. Okay. So I might say something like, hey, Tim, this is Alana, local real estate agent. I know we talked a little bit ago. You mentioned that you're looking to get out of renting and get in your own home eventually in the future. I don't want to scare him. I don't want to be like, do you want to go see houses today? Eventually in the future. And I actually just, you mentioned staying in the same neighborhood to have a close commute to work. And I actually just saw a home in your price point come on the market today in that neighborhood. I'd love to email that over. Call me today so I can get you the information. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm making him an offer. I'm sharing with him. It's almost like giving candy, right? I'm sharing with him this little snippet based on something he said to get him to call me back, right? To get him to respond back. Right. So that's what making an offer means. Now, obviously, it depends on your audience. Is it direct or indirect? Direct was so that was more of a direct method, right? I saw this home. Do you want to go see it? I saw this home. Call me back so I can get you the information. Okay. Now, let's say that, an indirect method might be something, hey, I know, Mike, you mentioned, I'm going to talk about buyers right now, but you can interchange this to sellers. I know you mentioned you were looking to, this is a voice message I'm going to leave. I know you mentioned you were looking to potentially get a home in the future. I'd love to help you out. Give me a call back just so I can set you up on a customizable search for free. Right. So I'm not talking about a specific home, anything we talked about because we didn't really have a conversation. It's more of I don't want to use the word generic, but it's a softer approach to, again, just get a response back. Everything we do needs to be who am I targeting? Who am I talking to? What do I want the outcome to be? Right? The outcome, if we haven't had a conversation, the outcome you want is I just want to talk to them. All I want to do is talk to them. I need to hear a voice because you cannot have, when you have a lead, again, capturing leads, when you have a lead, the whole goal is to find out, are they motivated to buy or sell? And if they are, the goal is to find out when to be able to help them. We can't do any of that and set an appointment, write offers, have closings without having a conversation. All right. Leads are everywhere, literally everywhere. All right. So I want to ask this question. So chat box time. So we're going to pop in the chat box. And that is, oh my God, Jim, I love that you wrote open versus closed question. Hold on, let me touch on this real quick, and then I'm going to ask, we're going to do a little engagement in the chat box. What is an example? Someone come off of mute. I'd love to hear a voice. Someone come off of mute. What's an example? Someone ask me an example of a closed question. What's a closed question?
A question is something that you have to say yes or no to, but you don't have to provide any details to. So, like, is this what you're looking for?
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Stephanie. So a closed question is yes or no. Do you want to buy a house? No. Okay, thanks. Do you want to sell a house? No. Do you want to do this? No. Right. Do you want pizza for dinner? No. Right. An open question is a question where a person cannot answer yes or no. Right. So if I went back and asked Stephanie, and Derek's like, pizza, I know, right? Can you tell what I'm hungry? So if I ask Stephanie, hey, Stephanie, what has you thinking about selling your home in the future? It would be really weird if she just responded with yes. You can't answer a yes to that question. You can't answer a no. She actually has to give some sort of response, right? So there is a place for both open and closed questions. I will tell you, when you're first having conversations and connecting with people, connecting with leads, we're going to use the word people versus the word leads. I want to actually change. So if you're taking notes and you wrote down the word leads, I want you to cross it out and write people because that's it. Leads are people. That's all they are. Okay. So y'all raised your hand at the beginning and said, I talked to people today. That means you talk to leads. So if all of you are connecting with people and we're trying to find out what their real estate goals are or needs are for the future, you're going to get a lot faster and better results by asking more open questions in the beginning. Okay. So again, we have to approach people, we have to connect with them, and we have to ask. Now, here's the thing. Here's the rule of thumb. If you do not ask, the answer is always no. Let me repeat that. If you do not ask, the answer is always no. Meaning, let's say that I am talking to, actually, I'm going to give you an example. True example. My first year in real estate, 2015, I had a 3-month period where I had 4 very, very, very close friends of mine, one of whom is my best friend that I see every single week. We have ladies' night once a week. We do a little margarita, salsa dancing, all that fun stuff, okay, once a week. And in those 3 months, those 4 very good friends, including the best friend, bought and sold with other agents. Okay, so in the chat box, why did that happen? Take a guess. Why do you think that happened? So it's my first year in real estate. Oh, Tim just rolled right out there. You didn't ask. You were not top of mind. Exactly. Right. Oh my God, these answers are flowing in. I love this. Keeping business and personal separate, no conversation. All right. So you're all correct, right? You miss all the shots you don't take. Ooh, love the sports analogies. I coached soccer for 9 years. I'm all about the sports analogies. Fantastic. Here's what ended up happening. My first year in real estate, right? And feel free to raise your, do a little reaction button if you can relate to this. First year in real estate, especially my first 10 months, if not a little bit longer, I was terrified. Again, I come from 20 plus years of sales prior to getting into real estate, but I was so afraid of connecting with friends and family, my sphere, as it's called, right, about real estate. I didn't want to come across salesy. I didn't want to be pushy. I was like, oh, I'll just post on social and send an email. They'll just know I'm in real estate and they'll just come to me. Even though I sat in classes like this and everybody told me otherwise, I didn't listen. I was like, my friends are different. Okay. I don't know if anybody can relate to any of those feelings or, at all. But that was me. That was my first year in real estate. So what ended up happening was I remember going to my best friend's family's barbecue, and she was living in PA at the time. We're at the barbecue and she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Our house is going on the market next week. We're moving back to Maryland. We already have a place picked out. And I looked at her and I said, oh, oh, really? Okay. That's cool. Well, I'm excited you're coming back like closer to me. Huh. So you already put it on the market. Okay. So she paused for a minute. She goes, wait, don't you do something in real estate? What do you do? Every single person you know forgets you're in real estate every 2 weeks. Now, it doesn't mean you have to call them every 2 weeks, right? Once a quarter is like the rule of thumb. Remind everybody you know once a quarter you're in real estate. I remind my brother I'm in real estate once a quarter because he forgets every month. Okay. So it wasn't that they didn't want to use me as their agent, even if they didn't want to mix business and personal, because I will be honest, my best friend has since, her and her family has since bought and sold 3 other houses. And I referred every one of them out because I know her and her husband too well that I don't want to help them, if that makes any sense. So, but I referred them out for a very nice referral fee and making sure they're connected to a really amazing agent, because not all agents are created equal in our world in real estate. Okay. Um, I love this comment. Friends don't want you in their finances. Guess what? You actually, depending on where you live, now some places are a little bit different, but depending on where you live, you can actually do the majority of everything without actually getting into their finances. Right. And if you do have someone who doesn't want to use you, at least make sure you connect them with someone good. So, one, you're helping them and they're not getting stuck with someone not trained and not solid. And because that has happened to some of my other friends. And two, referral fee. All right. So, question in the chat box, put it in the chat box. Who found any potential clients this month? Now, it doesn't mean they're looking this month. It could be future people, but who's connected with someone this month and where did they come from? Where are they from? Where'd you find them? Okay, I see sphere of influence. Oops. Let me see here. What do we got? We got friend, coworkers. By the way, that's all sphere of influence. Coworkers, sphere of influence, daughter's daycare, sphere of influence, coworkers, sphere of influence. Floor time, circle calling a listing, open houses. Ooh, we're going to talk about open house tonight. Family. Okay, you know what's awesome about this list? Well, two things. One, if you look at the numbers in this list of how many people mentioned something within their sphere of influence, meaning people you know or they know or who are connected with people you know, meaning friend of someone at daycare, that's connection. And also open houses. Those are the top two sources. Those are the top two lead sources nationwide of all top producing agents, period. Hands down for 20 years running. It has never changed. Number three has changed and it's recently turned into social media. It used to be something different. But again, if you don't ask when you talk to these individuals and you don't share with them when you're connecting with them that you're in real estate and find out just the simple question, hey, Bill, any real estate goals you have this year that I can help with or anyone you know? Probably the easiest question you could ever ask. Just any real estate goals you have I can help with? By the way, real estate goals means do they need a plumber or roofer, any of that? All right. Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing. What we know in the industry, now this is interesting, this slide has recently changed. I just don't have the up-to-date slide in here. It used to be every 7 to 10 years, people were making a move. Meaning if you talk to someone today and they just bought a house last year and you put them in your database and follow up with them and have a system to follow up with them, then you're going to not only be able to sell their house, but be able to help them hopefully buy a house or refer them out to buy a house. So that's two pieces of business as long as you're following up. Now, what's interesting in today's world with this chart is it's now every 5 to 7 years. There was one chart I saw, it said 3 to 5. That was very aggressive to me, so I'm going with a 5 to 7 year. You'll see a few different researchers out there with different numbers. It comes from these nationwide researchers who all they do is study the market. So let's get into again capturing leads. You're looking at now if you have the what we call the red book, which is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It's a how-to guide. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. It's literally a how-to guide. If you're a newer agent, meaning a year or less in the business, or you haven't closed 5, 6 deals yet, I recommend just reading the first part of it because that's your start of how to get business. The rest of it's how to leverage, how to grow, how to build teams. If you're on Zoom today and you have a team or you're a few years in and you're kind of going back to basics to refresh yourself in the new year, which I love, Ignite should be a yearly thing, not once. It's never like a one and done, right? Oh, and the book is Millionaire Real Estate Agent, MREA. A little later on, I can throw that in the chat box. So this comes right out of that book. And what it shows is a foundation, right? If I turn this upside down, is it sturdy? So for those cameras, people whose cameras on, shake your head no, right? Will this topple over if I turn this triangle upside down? Right? Will it fall over because it's just hanging on the point? So you want to start with the foundation. The foundation is prospecting. Prospecting means you're finding people, you're finding leads. Okay. Prospecting is a two-way street, meaning it is proactive for immediate results. Yes, can be time intensive, but it's being proactive for immediate results. Immediate results means if you text somebody right now, they might text you right back. You have the chance for them to text you right back because people live on their phones. If you call someone, they might answer. Okay. Where marketing, if we post something to social media or we send an email or we get flyers out to our neighbors, right? Or postcards out to our neighbors. That is more of building our brand, marketing our brand, who we are as agents, without that immediate proactive result. Meaning, if I send a postcard to my neighbor, it's going to take 5 days to get there, depending on the mail. Then who knows if they're going to look at it? I have no idea if it went in the trash. So I don't know if they're ever going to call or text me. I mean, it's more of a passive way of doing things. Now, you do need both, but you have to start with prospecting. Oh, thank you for posting the book in there in the chat box. I appreciate the help. Okay. So, what is something you all could do right now? If I said you had, let's give it a time. If I said all of you had 1 minute. Okay, we'll give it 2 minutes. If I said all of you have 2 minutes right now to take this step to get an immediate result, what could you do? Oh, I love that. Text 5 people. Make a call. By the way, don't make a call right now. I'll never get you back on Zoom. I'll just lose you forever. You'll get in the touch, you'll be talking to a friend. You'll be talking about what you're doing next weekend. Yeah. Text, 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 text. I see text, post. Now, here's the thing. Interesting thing with a post. We're going to get more into this when we get to the social media slides. A post is branding, which you do. I mean, we want social media. Okay. A post is branding, which is more of marketing. When you do a post on social media, yes, people may or may not comment, but you don't know when, right? It's a little more passive than active. Again, we still need it, and we're actually going to do an activity for that tonight, but it's a little more passive. Now, let's switch that around. Instead of posting to social media, you could DM somebody. So I might go on social media and DM someone, right? I actually saw, well, I'm going to say that story for the social media. Never mind. I'm going to put that over here for the social media slide. All right. I'm just reading the comments here. There is Sarah, good question on the TCPA Act. Yes. So how to find out who's on the do not call list. Do some research on, there is a website you can go to that's literally, um, if you Google it, the do not call list, the TCPA Act do not call list. It's called the National Do Not Call List. So if you ChatGPT or Google National Do Not Call List, it will give you that information. Yep, email. Now, interesting, email is also passive. And the reason email is passive is the majority of people don't open emails today. So you don't know if someone's sitting on their email, but you know someone's sitting on their phone. So we always have to think, and this changes right over time and with our society and with our market and who we're dealing with. So where do people live today? If I connect with them this way, can I get an immediate response? We don't know if they will respond, but can I? Right? Meaning phone, text, and DM are your proactive approaches. All right. I'm not going to read through these, but you are able to take a picture of these. They're also in your manuals as well. These are just a few examples. Now, when I send out the recordings at the end of this week, I will actually include a special document in there, a little extra thing that's not part of Ignite. Again, being a coach since 2017, I have a lot of documents I use and folders, and I'll just call them goodies, little tips and tricks for agents. And one of them is called 50 Different Ways to Find Business. So I will include at the end of the week when I send recordings that document 50 different ways to find business. Now, our job as an agent is to choose three, no more than three because you can't master them. Okay. If you pick 10, you're just all over the place and you will not be able to master any of them to actually get the results you want. Right. So it's picking three that make sense to you. And is that your hand up or were you? Go ahead and come off mute.
Sorry, I just had a quick question because you were talking about the
Sure.
do not call list. I've heard two different things. So I'm trying to see maybe if you know. Last week, the one of the people who was doing the Ignite class said that for sell by owners, you still have to check do not call list. But my broker in charge said like that because it's like posted on like Zillow and stuff, you can call. So I'm just trying to clarify which it is.
Um, any number that's posted because they have not given you direct information, you do need to follow the TCPA Act. And
Okay.
I will always refer to check with your local broker because every state, well, TCPA Act is national. Um, but check with your local broker as far as what they say.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for asking.
Hmm.
Okay, so again, a few things here in the prospecting category, right? We have calling people, we have reaching out to your neighbors, we have door knocking, right? So these are all things you can do to be proactive. We're on the marketing side. Now, some of these are probably like a newspaper. Wait, what? Huh? Newspapers, they still exist. Um, I grew up with newspapers. Okay, I'm a Gen Xer, so but I'm like looking at that going yellow pages, that doesn't even exist anymore. Um, but when you look at marketing, you're looking at in today's market, you're looking at social media, you're looking at blogs, you're looking at postcards, um, online advertising. Again, it's more branding, it's more getting yourself out there to passively attract people, right? And then there's a combination of them, right? So, for example, when we get to open houses, I will talk a little bit about events. And one of the events is hosting an open house or a home buying seminar. So we're prospecting people. So this is where this could come into, we could be doing both for one thing. What I mean by that is I'm going to host a home buying seminar where I'm going to call, checking the TCP Act, I'm going to call and door knock and people who live in apartment buildings close by with high rent to invite them. I'm going to call my friends and family, see who they know or if they are interested in attending, right? And everybody around them. Where I'm also going to mail a postcard probably to apartment complex. I might also put a flyer at at the local places around that area. Might hang up flyers at like the Starbucks around my area. right? Where people sit and gather, right? Maybe the library. So one of them, the posting of flyers, the marketing of it, right? That's passive, where physically making the calls, door knocking, going after people, again, that's active. So there's a few of these that was just one example where you can see both happening. All right, again, capturing leads, referrals, referrals, referrals. All right. So here's the thing with referrals. This literally just happened last night, like 10:30 last night. This happened. So I'm in Florida. My daughter lives in so personal. My daughter lives in Japan. She was visiting, and we're out visiting my dad. And uh, my dad might want to sell his house in the future. And he lives in Florida, but he doesn't want to sell it until it hits a certain price point or goes back up to a certain price point, which it's not too far off. I know the market, so it actually makes sense as opposed to like, Dad, you're off the rocker. Like, no, it's never going back up to that. So he's pretty on point. Well, I don't know real estate agents specifically in his area, right? So I actually went on to, well, I did two things. I'm part of some referral networks on Facebook. I'm also part of a referral network just within the Keller Williams command system. So I sent a message out to people I know. So I did two things. One, I sent a message out to people I know. Hey, who do you know that might be an amazing agent in this area in Florida? Poinciana, Florida, to be exact. Right. And then I also posted, so I was being proactive with that because I actually sent a mass text out. And then I posted on the referral page that I'm part of, the Keller Williams referral page on Facebook, which there's many of them. But I always post to the original largest one. And it was, hey, looking for a experienced listing agent in Poinciana, Florida. I posted this at 10:30 last night. I woke up because I turned my phone off after I posted it. Probably should have thought about that and posted it in the morning, but that's okay. I woke up to 12 DMs and 16 comments of agents. 12 DMs and 16 comments. Now some are overlapping. Okay. So there's two sides to the story. One is it doesn't matter where you are from versus where you live or where your family's from versus where you're an agent or where your friends are from or live, right? Business is everywhere. So I connected with well, I'm connecting tomorrow with somebody out there to put some watchers on my dad's house. So when it hits a certain amount, we're going to sell it. I'm going to get a referral fee when it sells. Everybody's happy and everybody wins. Okay. And now I've made this connection with this agent nationwide, right? Which that's really valuable. There was actually an agent who, oops, actually, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go back. There was actually an agent that I coached in 2018. He lives out in California, and one of his three lead sources, remember I said select three, right? So one was his sphere of influence, friends and family. One, he did a lot of seminars. He loved hosting seminars, buyer seminars, seller seminars, investor seminars, any type of event, right? That was the second one. He did a seminar like once a month. And the third was agent to agent referrals. And what he ended up doing was he did research, which back then there wasn't ChatGPT. So it'd be way easier to do it right now with AI. Okay, this is a great AI question. So he did research on his area in California to see where people are moving out of and to. So like where are people coming from and where are people going to? And that was his first bucket of agent referrals. So what he found was these three certain states were the highest percentage of people moving out of into his area in California. And these three states being where when people moved out of California, they moved to, one being Austin, Texas. So he took those six states, went on to is it on the next page? went onto the referral network of command, which you'll see that on Thursday night, but went into the referral network of command, put in those states, found, oh, Stephanie, I'll come to your question in just a minute. Good to see you on here. Put in those states and found agents, and he called a whole bunch of agents. Now, you know, I coached him on what to say and how to say it to vet the agents. So it wasn't just anybody, because again, your name is behind the person you refer, right? So there was a few things that he asked them to make sure. And I always give a rule of thumb, if you reach out to an agent, they don't call you back in 24 hours, that's not the person you're referring out, right? So speed matters. Um, but he ended up making connection with six different agents across those six different states. And then what he did is every month, okay, so every single month, he would take one day. Well, it grew, so then it became 2 days. And his lead gen activities were calling those agents just to check in and be like, hey, it's Justin from so-and-so in California. How have you been? I just want to check in, see if there's anything I can do to help you in your business, see if there's anything you need as a fellow agent. So what he's doing is just building a relationships. He built it so strong that by his third year in real estate, 80% of his business actually came from agent to agent referrals. Oh, and by the way, 80% of his business, he was closing about 30 to 40 deals a year. Let me put that in perspective. Okay, so 30 to 40 closings, 80% were actually connections. Now, he actually had a map and he made connections he started with those six states and then he branched out to make connections with somebody in every single state. And then that was his lead gen for a week, part of every month. Okay, so do not discount the power and that's why here in Ignite, we say in the chat box, put where you're located. That's why in the email that gets sent out, which my email address is in my little square. So if you don't get my emails, please send me an email so I know what to, let me know. And maybe your email is wrong in my system and I can correct that. But that's also why we say join our Ignite After Dark Facebook group and use people going through this and people engaged are the ones who are getting trained. Right. So this right here is your network for your agent to agent referral. This is where it starts right here. Right. So you can literally look through the chat box and see, oh my God, somebody is in, Bethesda, Maryland. I actually have family out in Maryland. I want to connect with that person because who knows what's to come in the future. Doesn't mean you have to have business to connect with agents. My dad's probably not going to sell for a good year, but I want to make that connection with an agent today. Okay, Stephanie, I know you had your hand up. I don't want to forget about you. Are you still on? Did I lose Stephanie?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was saying, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's up?
Okay, so on the KW referral page on Facebook, how can you get an admin to accept you as an agent? Because someone asked a question on the referral page that was specific to a county where where I'm getting licensed now as we speak. And when I went to comment to throw my hat in the ring, it just kept saying pending admin approval. And it's been that way for weeks.
Okay, very good point. Here's a great rule of thumb. Ready? And this actually is going to be one of the slides we get to in social media, but I want to touch on it now because by the way, these all tie together, which is why we kind of put these in my partner Matt and I put these into kind of one grouping for tonight. Yes, unfortunately, sometimes when you post, you are waiting on the admins to approve it. So I would delete it and repost it, but faster and a better way to connect with someone is you can click on their profile, add them as a friend, right? Friend request them, and then DM them. Right?
Okay.
So, by the way, just so all of you know, when I sent that message out in that Facebook referral group, I have like 16 some comments on it, and again 12 DMs. I am only responding to people who DM me. I'm not responding to people who did not DM me. So anybody who just commented that they know Poinciana, that they can help me, if they didn't DM me and take that step, that's a rule of thumb I have. Now they don't know that rule of thumb, but that's a rule of thumb I have. So I don't because that's about connection. DMing is connection. So I would add them as a friend and DM them.
Okay. So
And you're
even
also not dependent on admins of groups.
okay. So even again, being an agent since September, still been waiting for the admin to accept me. Is there anyone I can reach out to?
The only thing you can do is find out who the admin of the group is, friend them, and DM them. Because Facebook is Facebook, right? So it's not like a Keller Williams thing or this thing or that thing. It's just whoever start. Like, I think I have like 32 groups at some point, and I'm part of like
Okay.
12 referral groups. I also recommend joining a totally different referral group. I will send, I need someone to send me a text. I to remind myself of this. I will add in the weekly email the top two referral groups on Facebook that are most widely used.
Okay.
Yep. Doesn't mean that you
Okay.
can't join the other ones. Definitely, I mean, like I said, as an agent, I joined so many because I like to watch. So if somebody said Maryland, I want to jump all over that. But again, I never commented on anything. I went and DM'd them.
Understood. This was just
Yeah.
the specific Keller Williams referral group that I was speaking about.
Yeah,
So
you'll
that's
have to
why.
find even Keller Williams group. It's not a Keller Williams group. It's just an agent at Keller Williams who happened to start a group.
Okay. Okay. No
Yeah.
problem. Thank
Yep.
you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Honey?
Oh, was there a question?
No, I just wanted to answer Stephanie's question. So just sometimes it helps to just withdraw your request and put in a new request, uh, because that way it
Good idea.
doesn't get buried in like all their requests and you come up fresh. So that may be another way to get through it.
Great
I
suggestion. Thanks,
appreciate
Joe.
that,
Good to see you.
Joe.
All
Thank you. I did do that. So thank you,
right.
Joe. I did end up doing that and still been waiting an additional two
We
weeks.
are gonna, I don't mean to cut you off. We have
Okay,
our
yeah,
material on a
we'll
little
talk
bit of
later.
time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna mute. We're gonna go ahead and move forward. All right. So I love the question. I love the feedback. If you have more of it, throw in the chat box. We can engage in there. We're gonna move forward to business and business. Okay. So we talked about one, asking your friends and family, who do you know? So again, the easiest way to ask that is simply, you know, hey Joe, any real estate goals that you have, any real estate needs you have this year that I can help with, or anybody you know? It's the easiest way to ask. Notice how I said this year, because we have a whole year. And I don't know about you, but I want business in November. I'm thinking some of you might want business, in November and December as well. We're not in this just for January and February. We're in this for the long haul. It's a journey. So we have asking our friends and family who they know. We have agent to agent referrals, right? And then there's businesses. So in the chat box, what are some businesses out there that also work with buyers and sellers? Lenders, mortgage, contractors. What else we got? Financial, insurance cleaners, attorneys, appraisers, hairstylists, wholesalers. By the way, Ed, I love that you said hairstylists because what? Here's the thing. Everybody works with a buyer or seller, meaning everybody works with people, right? So when you think of businesses, though, like what are initial businesses that you can connect with? And there's a few ways to do this. One is you yourself forming your partnerships, because who we partner with as agents is really important, right? So who are our lenders? Who's our title company? Who's a local roofer, contractor, plumber, um, landscaper, right? Anything house related, right? Inspector, stager, right? There's so many things. So who's a local person, right, that you yourself want to partner with and build your vendor list, your resource list for yourself as an agent? And then those are the individuals who, they're looking to build their business just like you are. They need leads just like you need leads. They don't make money without leads and people. You don't make money without leads and people. It's actually the exact same business, just different pathways to get there, right? So if you think about that way and you sit down with a local lender or you sit down with your um, local inspector, any of them, say, hey, what are some of your goals this year? Right? How can I help you grow your business? I'd love to form a partnership. They absolutely will want to grab a cup of coffee and talk about that, right? It's just business owners helping business owners. Besides that, you can also branch out a little bit from that. So there was an agent I know, and her first year in business, now she's been in real estate like probably 15 plus years. And her first year in business, I'm gonna stop my share for just a second. So, because I love this story. So her first year in business, she struggled. She had one closing her first year. Okay. Her second year, she had a few more. I think she had three or four, but she really struggled. And what she struggled with is she really, she didn't like making phone calls. I mean, you have to talk to people on the phone, but she didn't like calling strangers or anything like that. She had a very limited sphere locally. She had people nationally and was reaching out to let them know she can, help them when they have real estate needs. But locally, she had a very limited sphere, meaning friends and family. So for her, she found it very difficult to find people to connect with, right? Just in a natural way. So what she ended up doing was finding things she loved. So she has a passion for dogs. That's her passion. She loves dogs. She fosters dogs, everything's dogs. And so she's just started volunteering at anything and everything dog related, right? The SPCA, this, that, festivals, anything fostered, anything dog related, her name was all over it, right? And anytime she volunteered, she always wore her real estate badge or a real estate hat or something real estate related. So her clothes or something she wore talked for her. Also, when you're doing something you love with fellow people who are also there doing something they love, right? Volunteer and volunteer, they both love dogs, or maybe you're at a dog park, which, by the way, she went to the dog park purposefully 3 times a week. She didn't have to. She had a huge backyard. She didn't have to get in the car and drive to a dog park. She had a huge backyard. She purposefully went to a dog park. Wow, can't speak. 3 times a week to connect with fellow dog lovers. What is a question? So when you connect with a stranger and you're just meeting each other for the first time, what is one of the main questions we always ask each other? What do you guys
How you
think?
doing?
How you doing? What else? What do you do? There you
What do
go.
you do?
What do you
What
do?
do you do?
What do you do? Are you from around here? Do you live around here? And what do you do? Right now, for anybody on here who is what we call dual career, meaning you have another job and you're in real estate, which many of you are, I started that way myself. Okay, that's how I started. I worked a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, um, in my starter years of real estate. Trust me, I know it's not easy. It gets better, I promise. You have to put in the work though. But ignore your other job and only say real estate because that's what you want them to latch on to. And you don't have to sit there and have this whole conversation about real estate. You're simply just being like, oh my God, I'm in real estate. I'm a local real estate agent. Right? That's it. If they have an interest or they are intrigued or they want to know, like, how's the market, they will ask you. Right. So, what she ended up doing, let me go back to my sharing screen here. So, what she ended up doing is that is not the screen. There we go. She ended up starting a Facebook group local to her community. Okay. And in the beginning of it, it was a lot of dog parks and dog this and dog that, but then it grew. And what she ended up doing is once a month, she found a local business, not one of these big franchises, a local business. And she went in and was like, hey, I have a local Facebook community group. Now, it wasn't a community group about real estate, but when you looked at her profile, you knew she was a real estate agent. And she would say to the local business, hey, can I do a brief interview of you and your business and put it on this local community page? What business owner is going to say no to free advertising like that? Right? So they said yes, they loved it. So not only is she growing this community page, she then went around to all of her neighbors to get them involved in this community page. So now all of her neighbors are seeing local businesses, but now seeing that she's a real estate agent on there, right? And from there, she built her business. Again, she struggled her first 2 years. She became one of the top agents in the Baltimore and surrounding area of Maryland for like 10 years running. She was doing 100 plus deals a year. And this was again through just doing everything with her love of dogs and connecting with local businesses and that Facebook community page. Right. So again, when we talk about leads, capturing leads, they literally are everywhere. All right. Briefly, events and seminars, hosting home buying seminars, seller seminars. One thing I want to put this on there. I got a group of agents together that I coached 2 years ago, and we did a home buying seminar, and we called it Mortgages and Mimosas, Brunching into Home Ownership. We did it on a Saturday morning from 10 to 12. No, sorry, 10 to 11:30. So it was brief. We had a title company and lender sponsor it, so there was no money out of my pocket. They brought the mimosas and bagels and other things for, brunch. It was very, very light. It wasn't anything crazy. And if you're like, oh my God, what do I say? How do I do it? Honestly, the lender and title company do, especially the lender, if they're good, they do all the work. You just introduce yourself and kick it off, and then they do the rest. And then you close it out and capture everybody's information. So these events, if you work with a lot of investors, you can do a building wealth seminar. So just hosting different seminars like this are an amazing way to capture leads. It's also really fun. A lot of our agents in our Maryland location actually partner together to do this. So if you have fellow agents in your office that you're familiar with, I recommend getting together with them because it's way more fun to do it with a group of agents than on your own. I think we had 12 agents participate when we did the mortgages and mimosas. So again, leads are everywhere. Grocery store, coffee shop, repair shop, hair salon, dentist.
And Donna,
Yes.
a quick question. How do you get these mortgage folks or the title companies to sponsor an event? Do you just go talk to them and tell them I want to host this? I mean, what is their incentive to host it or pay
Yeah.
for it?
So two great questions. Okay. First, I want to answer the incentive question, then I'll ask how to ask. Okay. Great question. So the first one, okay, what is their incentive? Lenders need buyers or they have no business and they make no money. They work on commission just like we do. Right. So if they don't have people buying a house, they don't make money, meaning they don't feed their families. So a lender's client, yes, is a buyer, but a lender's client's actually the agent. It's us. Lenders need us to introduce them to buyers, right? Title companies, same thing. If agents don't have closings with buyers and sellers, the title company has no business, so everybody gets fired. So the lender and the title company need, same with inspectors, all those people, right? So they need us and they need the buyers. So they're meeting these clients, these future clients, as I like to call them, at the seminars with you. Right. So they need leads the exact same way we need leads. We actually have the same exact business, just different path to transaction. Now, how to ask them? Here's the thing. It's all about just simply approaching. It's an earlier side. Approach, connect, and ask. So if I'm calling, okay, let's say I'm a new agent. So I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm all about demonstrating, but that's okay. So let's say I'm a brand new agent, and James, hey, James, good to see you. Oh, there's so many Maryland people on here. Love it. And James is a lender, and I want him to co-host a home buying seminar. I am literally just going to call James up. By the way, don't send an email. That's so impersonal. Like actually pick up the phone and call, right? So I'm gonna pick, I know it's old fashioned, but we just, that's the connection. So I'm going to call James. And now if he doesn't answer, I will send him a text though. And be like, hey, James, my name's Alana. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Capital Properties. I am reaching out. Well, first I want to call, just introduce myself. Here's the thing. James is a lender, meaning he needs this relationship. So he's going to be like, oh my God, great to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, that lender, if they're a good lender, they will just start talking. You don't need to know what to ask or talk about. Okay. Don't be nervous to call them. They will love you calling them. They will love you. But I do need to ask him a question, right? Hey, James, have you ever hosted a home buying seminar with an agent? Now, if he's a newer lender, he might say no. And I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Just wondering. I want someone who's done it before. So I'll call another lender. If he's like, oh my God, yeah, like absolutely. Like if I call my lender John right now or my lender Pam right now, both of them will be like, yeah, like 100, 200, 500. And he'll say, yes, I have. And I'll be like, great. I've never done one. I'm nervous. I don't know what to do, but I'd love it if you can do it with me. They will take it from there. My lender actually creates it, creates the Eventbrite for it, puts out the flyers for it, makes the flyers for it. The only thing my lender doesn't do, oh, I can give my lender my list and they'll market it. The only thing my lender won't do is like I need to be the one to actually make calls and invite people. I need to prospect to invite people to it. I need to put it on my social media. So you do need to do work to do a seminar. But a good partner will run with it. So simply never be afraid to just call and ask.
Thank you.
Yep. No, great question. Hopefully that was helpful to multiple people on here. Might be like, how do I do it? Yep, just call and ask. Okay. So we're going to get into action right now. We're about midway through. Yep, we're about midway through. So we're going to do two things right now. The very first thing, yes, if you want the slides, I can absolutely send the slides. That is not the screen that I want. Sorry, stopping the share for a second. That is actually not the screen I want to bring up. Give me one second while I bring this up. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to, again, approach, connect, ask. Those are your three words for tonight. And if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So I am a certified Keller Williams University trainer, also national and worldwide trainer, both inside Keller Williams and outside Keller Williams. And the only way I'm able to keep that certification is, and also grow as a trainer, because growth is very important to me, is to get your feedback. So I'm going to ask all of you to go to a certain website. I'm going to put it in the chat box for all of you. And I'm going to ask for your help. And that is to fill out a really quick survey, which by the way, takes about 30 seconds to fill out, maybe 45 seconds. So if you go to KWU, so KWUeval.com, I just put in the chat box as well. You're going to have a survey pop up. You're going to select your region. Okay, so whatever region you're in. So I'm in Maryland, DC. This is virtual. The course name, you're going to go down and you're going to find Capture More Leads, Ignite 9. Instructor name, I used to be the only I in here, and then somebody else came in. It's alphabetized, so there I am, Alana Huber Katz. That is me. And as you can see, there's literally two questions. That's it, two questions. I love fives. Fives are great. Fours are wonderful as well, but I also love the honest feedback because, by the way, I don't see names or anything because that's how I improve. So if you could take a quick second, kweval.com, fill this out. And then after that, put your cameras on because we're going to get into action and we're actually going to do a social media post together. I'm going to give it a second for people to, so I'm going to put that in here again. Oh, thank you very much, Caroline. Again, kweval.com. Yeah, and it took me, just share a little about me. I'm like an open book. 20 what year was it? 2018, I started becoming a local and national coach, and I really wanted to be a certified trainer. I love this. I love being able to share mistakes I made. I made probably every one of them. That's how you grow. That's how you learn. Just anything I can give back, that because people poured into me, so I want to pour back into others. And so I went on the journey of becoming a certified trainer, thinking it was an easy journey. It was not. I started in 2018. To be honest, I kind of gave up a little bit after that because I didn't get it right away. And then I went back to it because anything worthwhile is worth going for, and ended up getting it in 2021, 22, 21, 2021. God, I had to think about the year. So it took me a few years. So I want to keep it. So that's why I need your help. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, for doing that. All right. We are going to have a little fun now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open my screen up more on my page, and you can do the same thing if you want to. And I'm going to take a screenshot. Now there's a bunch of pages here. I'm going to go through, like, my Zoom screen has a few pages I have to scroll through. I'm only going to scroll through the pages that actually have people with their cameras on, because I'm going to take a screenshot. We're going to have like fun little thing with reactions, by the way. Okay, so everybody get ready. We're going to have some reaction time. So I'm going to have everybody do reactions. I'm going to take a screenshot, so don't do it just yet. And I'm going to put the screenshots in the chat box. And I'm going to give you all like 3 minutes to do a post. Now, if you're like, oh my God, I can't post something in 3 minutes, don't stress. Save the photos and just commit to yourself that you'll post later. Or if you have a fellow friend on here, so I love doing this. If you have a fellow agent friend on here that you can absolutely shoot them a little text or comment or a little chat in the chat box and be like, hey, can you tag me? And then just add theirs to yours, right? So I know social media, I teach social media, but I didn't grow up with social media. I'm a Gen Xer. So posting every day is not natural for me. That does not come natural for me. I have a very good friend who everywhere we go, she's posts like every 2 seconds. So when her and I go on our New York girls New York trip every year, I don't post anything. I just get her to post every day, tag me, and I just click add. That's all I do. I just click add, right? I was with my daughter. I was like, she's in her 20s. I'm like, cool. She added me to things. I just clicked add, right? So again, either you're going to post, or you're going to ask somebody to tag you and post them. All I'm going to ask is, I would also love to be tagged. Right? So my handle is right in my little Brady Bunch square. If you see it, I'll put it in the chat box as well. So again, I'm going to take a picture in just a second, and then we're going to post. Any questions? Oh, by the way, when I say handle, I'm talking about Instagram, just in case anybody asks. I don't like to assume things. A few years back, I did not have Instagram because I grew up on Facebook, and my daughter said I had to be on that for real estate, which she was right, and taught me Instagram. And now is trying to teach me TikTok. That should be fun. I'm not there yet. Okay. So put your cameras on, and what I'm going to do, let me get my screen ready. Perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to you're either going to click the react button or just do a fun reaction, smile big, put your hands up, whatever, Again, this is going on social, so whatever you want it to look like. And no, I'm not using any filters, so guess what? We all look beautiful. We are who we are. Embrace it. And 3, 2, 1. Camera shot in the first screen. All right, I'm gonna go to the next screen. Hold on. Some of you show up on 2 screens. I don't know why that is. It's a Zoom thing. So I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1. Love the thumbs up. Oh, I love that. Okay, I have one more screenshot to do. And ready? 3, 2, 1. Love it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, by the way, anytime you're in any classes at all, any classes that you take, whether it's in person or on Zoom, the easiest way to do a social post, if you're like, what do I post? Take a picture of anything in the class, the teacher, the classroom, right? Me working with all my hands. If you're like, I don't want my picture, it doesn't have to be your picture. right? It could be someone else's picture. And then just go to ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever your favorite AI tool is. By the way, I'm sharing in the chat box these pictures with all of you right now. Go to whatever your AI favorite tool is and simply say, write a short caption for, and tell it Facebook, Instagram, right? Write a short caption for Instagram for my picture I'm posting from today's Ignite After Dark class with all my fellow students. Then if it comes back with a whole lot of words and you're like, that's too long, just tell chat, that's way too long, shorten it. Right? I don't like it, put in my own voice. Make it more humorous. Make it more this, make it more casual, right? Copy paste those words, post the picture, done. Don't overthink it. I am the queen of overthinking. I've written the book on overthinking. I should write a book on overthinking. Okay. So that is the fastest and easiest way to do it. All right. So I just shared the pictures in there. Again, I just work with Zoom. So if you're like, my picture's not up there, I just scroll through whatever screens showed faces on it. I took pictures. So don't yell at me, yell at Zoom. Okay. All right. I'm going to put a timer on and we're going to do, just grab one of those pictures. You should be able to download them, I believe, or at least open it up. Yeah, if you hover over it, there's a little download button. And then if you are able to right now, go ahead and post to social. If you want to do it later, that's fine. If you're private messaging a friend right now on here that you know, like, hey, can you tag me? So because I took pictures and I'm going to continue teaching, I'm going to ask, I see some fellow names on here. I see Stephanie, James, Joe. I see a bunch of names from my Maryland, DC. Oh, Michelle, bunch of Maryland, DC names on here. I'm going to ask one of you to tag me. And it could be any of you, it could be all of you, because that's going to be how I do my post later. Thank you. Oh, did the pictures not come up? Okay, hold on. People are saying the pictures didn't come through. I'm going to do them again. Let me try it again. Okay, just reposted. Do you see them?
They're there.
Okay. If you're on your phone or iPad, I don't know how that shows up. But then just honestly, if you're on your phone right now because you're somewhere else, just take your phone, take your own picture of the screen, you're good to go. Yeah. If your computer's not viewing them, it's a computer setting. I know CRMs, I know Command, I know AI. I don't know computers. I don't know software. So I would just say, just take a little screenshot yourself or take your phone, take a picture. All right. Did somebody do a post? Oh my God. Is
I'm
that a
about
Mr.
to.
Potato Head?
I wanted to ask, does anybody have an issue with their name being posted?
That is a fantastic question. Because in the very beginning of this, it actually says, when I hit the record button,
Just
it actually
recording.
says the comment, this is being recorded for blah, blah, blah. Do you agree? And people had to click OK. So that actually gives permission to use recordings and stuff for, well, anything.
Gotcha.
Because I
Yeah.
posted it.
But that is a very helpful question. And by the way, you know, I like that question is when you should always be, you know, when you have buyers, sellers, clients, renters, whoever, and you're having settlements, you're having like the celebrations with them, right? Like, for example, Stephanie on here just went under contract. I'm literally just shouting you out nationwide right now. So if you're having celebrations with people, ask them, be like, hey, I'd love to take a picture and post it. Are you cool with that?
I'm cool with it. Yes.
Derek, thank you for giving her a little shout out. First of many, many, many. All right. And I will share the Ignite Facebook group in just a little bit for everybody too. Actually, I'll do that right now. All right. Did most people get a post? If you didn't, that's okay. Get something posted tonight. Even if it's just you sitting in front of your computer, just being like, hey, just finished this great class. You don't have to do a video of it. Maybe it's just literally your computer open with a picture saying that. Again, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking action. Right? I'm going to post the Facebook group in the chat box for all of you. And this is an amazing group. There's a lot of different things that you'll be seeing Matt and I share in this group weekly, but it's also your community where you can share referrals, you can ask questions, you can now, no commission questions, no state specific questions, no broker compliance related questions because every state's different. But how do you handle this situation versus that? Or just, feeling overwhelmed, someone inspire me, right? All right, so I just shared that on Facebook. We are going to kick back into the slides.
Is there an Instagram group too? Or just the Facebook?
There is just the Facebook right now.
No problem.
I love the idea of the Instagram group, but I like sharing files, and I can't share the files on Instagram.
Touche.
Yep.
This chat GBT with the photo is amazing. That's a great idea.
Oh yeah. What's funny is I use ChatGPT for literally everything these days. And I was taking a class, so I'm always learning myself. And I was taking a class and somebody said, oops, getting ahead of myself. And somebody said, in the class, oh yeah, you can just go to, whatever it's ChatGPT and get your social media captions for you. And they'll just write everything for you. And over time, it will learn your voice and your tone, so it will do it more for you. And I tried that once. Now I actually can't think of the words to write it myself. Like I actually have to. It's kind of sad. Now I have to use it. All right. Let me share my screen and let's dive into database. So what we're going to do right now for the last hour is we're going to roll through database, open houses, social media. Database is going to be the fastest portion though. We're going to go through this there's going to be some slides. I'm just going to flip right through. I will make sure I share these slides out so you get a copy of all of them. So here's the thing. We talked about capturing leads, right? So we're talking to people. That's the very top of the funnel. But now we have to put them somewhere because here's the rule of thumb, right? Now, again, I've worked with about, 1,000+ agents now in my time as a coach and trainer and been in real estate a little over 10 years. On average, when you talk to 10 people a day, 5 days a week, so that's 50 in a week. Okay, 10 people a day, 5 days a week. That's the goal you want, by the way. That's the minimum goal you want. One out of those 50, now the timing of the year does change this. Spring market, the number one goes up to 2, but you have like a short 2-month stint of that. 1 out of 50 is ready now. Now meaning January, February, March. You're going to find 1 out of 50 who's motivated now. That's your now appointment. That's your instant gratification that we love. About 3 to 5, okay, I'm giving you numbers, about 3 to 5 out of those 50 are ready within 6 to 12 months. Okay. So let's say you talk to 50 people each week for 4 weeks, right? How many is that? 200, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let's say that each of those weeks, 5, so each of those weeks, you're going to find one person. That's 4 appointments you just landed for now people. But you also landed 5, 10, 15, 20 people who have a real estate need 6 to 12 months right now. So let me ask this group this question. Okay, I want to see your faces on this. Who remembers what they ate for lunch 3 weeks ago on a Wednesday. Anybody? Anyone remember what they ate for lunch? Okay. All right. Are you going to remember, right? So if Tim talks to Maria and Maria says, yeah, we want to sell in November because for XYZ reasons. But you're having a conversation today, January 20th. Are you going to remember who's selling, when they want to sell, who's all involved, their kids, and that they have a dog? Okay, I see. So I love the head nods. No, absolutely not. Okay, our brains do not work that way. So you have to put them somewhere. So we capture the lead, we put them somewhere, we connect with them, meaning we have a conversation. The conversation then leads to the follow-up, right? You don't know how to follow up with someone without a conversation, right? I can't call Ann and say, hey, Ann, okay, you want to buy a house? Great, I'll follow up with you. Bye. I don't even know what I'm calling her. I have no idea. When does she want to buy? Does she want to buy in 3 years, 5 years, tomorrow? I don't know. I didn't ask, right? So now, this takes practice. This takes timing. Be patient with yourself. I will tell you, my first few months in the business, I would actually call people and I was the one hanging up on them. I got so nervous, I hung up on them, right? I would talk to Derek and I'd be like, oh my God, you want to buy a house? Fantastic. I'll give you a call back. What? That's what I did though. So practice will help you with the conversations. The conversations will help you learn what people need and when what they need and when they need it, meaning the time frame. The time frame is going to dictate the follow-up. And the fortune is in the follow-up. And then once you actually work with people, right? So there's a few people I recognize on here who actually have buyers and sellers going on right now, right? So those right now are your clients. So as you're working with your clients, right when you go under contract, you should be asking them for a referral because they are at a high and they love you the most. Right when you get a settlement, you ask them again, right? And by the way, you asking is not, and again, I had the same thought when I first started as an agent. You asking is not salesy or pushy, right? It's, hey, and just be real with it. Like, stay true to who you are. So, like, this is how I would say it to like a friend of mine. Listen, you know what, Stephanie, referrals is literally like the end all be all of my business, right? That's how I want to grow my business, is helping people who know people who know people who know people, right? Just all those, everybody's connected, right? It's like Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of separation. I just aged myself with that quote. And so I'm going to teach that person that how I want to build my business and then simply say, so who do you know? Now, here's the thing. They're either going to sit there and be like, I don't know, nobody I can think of. Cool. Whenever you come across one, I'd love to help them. That's it. Not, oh my God, are you sure? Do you know someone? No, just make it nice and natural, nice and organic. Okay. So here's the 4 laws of the database. We're going to build it, feed it, communicate with it, and service it. Okay. So as you're building it, you can create now, if you're with Keller Williams, or well, actually, it doesn't matter. Any system you use. So if you're with Keller Williams, you're using Command, but any technology platform, any CRM you are using has what's called tags. So you can actually tag people and you can give people multiple tags. You can be like 2026 Q2 buyer, golf, and military. Because then as you're communicating with it, you can segment it out to customize your message. So not everybody's getting everything, right? So I did a training in Tennessee and there was an agent there who loves espresso martinis. And she created a Facebook group all about espresso martinis. And she tagged me, because I like espresso martinis as well. So she tagged me in her database. I'm now in her database. And she tagged me espresso martini. So every few months, I get an email with some recipe or something new, or there was an espresso martini event in some state. It's not where I live. It doesn't matter. right? I was like, oh my God, now I want to travel to that state next year just to go to this event. This is a whole tasting of espresso martinis, right? But the point is, she's the only person, I did a training there a few times. She's the only person that consistently communicates with me on a regular basis, staying top of mind and customizing it. So anytime I actually know someone who's moving to Tennessee in about 2 years from now when his son graduates high school. And that's exactly, I'm going to her. She's the person who's going to get that referral. So customizing it really does matter. And then communicating it with value, right? So what you're doing is you're connecting with it. So your quarterly touches, you'll learn more about this on Thursday in the tech session of this week, the technology night, about smart plans and how to create these things. But what you're doing here, what the slide really shows you, and feel free to take a picture, is what can I do every month to stay top of mind? What can they receive every month? So they're remembering, oh my God, there's Alana, she's in real estate, delete. Oh my God, there's Alana, she's in real estate, delete. But then all of a sudden, a year from now, it's, oh my God, there's Alana, she's in real estate. That's crazy. I need a buyer. I need an agent. Not remembering she just literally got emails from me like every single month for the past year. Okay. So the more you put people in your database, the more you put them onto, and command, they're called smart plans, automation plans, the more they're getting something on a monthly basis to remember who you are, and the more you customize it to them. And I recommend also now follow them on social media. Stalk these people, connect with them. If something happens in their family, congratulate them, not in like the 200 comments, but actually DM them, right? That's building relationships. All right. So I mentioned social media, so we're going to dive into this. Now, this is not in your Ignite material, but I teach social media classes, and this is one of the ones I taught recently. So I want to just pull this one slide in from the class I taught. So I kind of added to the material tonight. And it's about engagement and growth, right? So we want to get in habits. It's all about consistency and habits. If you're already using social media, cool. In a few slides, I'm going to give you some methods to use it purposefully as a real estate agent. If you're like, oh my God, no, like this was me. I don't know social media. I'm not comfortable with social media. It overwhelms me. I don't even know what to post. Start with the baby steps. Start with one thing, 1 week. Can you build on that? Can you do one post this week? You're like, well, what do I post? Post a picture from tonight. Post, maybe you're walking around and you see a beautiful house, or you're in a neighborhood and you're like, oh my God, check out this gorgeous landscape. Right? Don't overthink what you post, because it's not truly about what you post. It's about just that constant engagement, right? Not engagement, excuse me, the algorithm of you posting and moving up people's feed, right? And then engaging daily. Engaging means, are you commenting on things? Are you DMing people? Are you replying to people? Right? If people comment on something you post, are you clicking like, or are you commenting back? Putting this on your calendar. Here's a rule of thumb. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. So a lot of times we put the big things on our calendar, right? Oh, I have an appointment with a buyer. I have an appointment with a seller. I have Ignite from 6 to 8. Okay, I don't want to miss that. I have my team meeting this day. I have my dentist appointment this day. What we forget to put on our calendar are other little time blocks. For example, 15-minute social media. That's it. Can you do 15 minutes, right? Every day. Or if you want to start with it, it's kind of like going to the gym. Maybe you start with 2 times a week or 3 times a week. Okay. And then again, just repeating your brand often. By the way, your brand is not colors and fonts and styles and, pictures of things. Your brand is actually who you are as a person. Okay. So you'll see 10, 5, and 1 method, the 10, 5, 1. What that breaks down to is this is daily. In your 50-minute time block of social media, going into whatever you're using, Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform you like. And you can even do this on LinkedIn if that's your platform. Liking, hearting, smiley facing 10 posts a day. Okay, that's the 10 part, 10 a day. Commenting on 5 a day. Doesn't matter what five, find 5. Scroll down, look, comment on things. Okay. By the way, what that does is when you comment on a person's post, you're now moving up in the algorithm of that social media feed, meaning you are more likely to be seen on their page now. You ever wonder, like, you ever sit there and say, oh my God, why am I always seeing the same people on my social media feed and I never see these friends? It's because they're the ones who are engaging with you the most, or they're the ones who you're engaging with the most. So you're kind of like, there's a way to break the system, right? Not break it, manipulate. There's a way to manipulate the system. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so again, comment on 5. Now, when you comment, pay attention. If people comment back, reply. And then send 1 direct message a day, right? There's the thing. The easiest way to direct, if you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say. What am I direct messaging? So you can do this a few different ways. Just to start out, every day we see people's birthdays. There's somebody's birthday at some point in time that we know probably. If you're on Facebook, they show you what birthdays. I wish Instagram did that. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know how. Instead of commenting with the 300 other people who commented happy birthday, send them a DM. I just saw a post. This is 2 days ago. So I'm in the car. I'm driving somewhere with the family. I'm in the back seat. I'm scrolling. And this lady posted on Facebook that her and her family are going to Japan. Now, I've actually never talked to this person. I've seen her. I'm inspired by her. She's with Keller Williams. She's runs probably the top team out of Texas, Austin, Texas. She's a powerhouse. She also intimidates me a bit, right? Just who she is. So I've never actually spoke to her. I've liked things, I've commented on things, but I've never talked to her. But she posted on Facebook 2 days ago that her and her family going to Japan, and she was looking for some recommendations. That's where my daughter lives. So I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect DMing opportunity. So sometimes your DM can be just a happy birthday or checking in on people or, oh my God, congrats on this, or I'm so sorry about that. But sometimes your DM is an opportunity to reconnect or connect with someone new that, come on, let's face it, we all have somebody in our social media who we're like, how are we even in the social, like, we're friends, but how are we friends, right? So I ended up DMing her. And now, true story, she didn't DM me back until literally today. So like it was over 24 hours. I'm like, she doesn't like me. Like I was getting in my own head thinking, did I overstep? Like, was that not cool? No, totally DM me back today. Asked me a bunch of questions, wants some help. Right. So the power of DM is powerful. But now I'm going to move up in her algorithm and she'll see more of the posts that I do. Okay. So again, that is the 10-5-1. There's the rule, really important rule of social media. 1, unless you're on like a team or something, you do not need a business page on Facebook or separate business account on Instagram. That's very kind of when social media first came out, that was what people did. That is, you don't want that. You don't need that. Everything you do is on your personal page, your personal feed. And you want to follow what's called the 80-20 principle. 80-20 means 80% of what you post be personal. Keep it neutral. Keep it be careful what you post, not to offend anybody. I worked with an agent who was working with a buyer. They were looking to buy about an $850,000 home. They signed a buyer's agreement. They were showing them, the agent was actually out showing them houses. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, the buyer sent them an email firing the agent. So the agent called the buyer and said, "Oh my God, I've been helping you find houses. Like, why? What happened? I got your email." They didn't like a post that this agent did on social media. The agent was very outspoken in their beliefs on things. Just going to put it that way. Do not get into it. Okay, for recording purposes. So they fired him. So again, now this agent was like upset about, but they didn't care because they're like, that's who I am. I'm not going to change who I am. So this is your business. I just want to share with you, 80/20 and 80 being personal. Think about what you post because everybody sees that you are a business owner now. So everybody is looking at that. Okay. And then again, 20% business, meaning 20% is something real estate related. You could interview a lender about the mortgage rates just dropping recently. That would be an amazing post to do right now. That would probably be the greatest post you could all do this week is find a lender. You do not have to be on screen at all. Be like, hey, can I do a really fast, like you can even pop on Zoom, be like, hey, can I like just have a really quick video clip of you talking about mortgage rates, post on my social media. Right? It's educational, it's value, it's business related. All right. So again, 10, 5, 1. That's daily. 10 likes, 5 comments, 1 DM. That daily habit. I'd say taking your vitamins, brushing your teeth, 10, 5, 1. Maria.
Thank you, Alana. I'm enjoying this class. So real fast, rewind what you just said about like to do a little like would you Zoom call with a lender and do something like a little short snippet? Would you record it? I mean, how would we do that?
Yeah, I mean, you could do, I have a lender that's local to me. So I'll be like, hey, can you pop into my office or a coffee shop and I can just meet with you and do it? You can do that. If you can be like, hey, I'd love to share something on my social media about the rates. It might not even be a video. Do you have a little flyer or post I can share about the rates?
Okay.
Even
All right.
ask that. Or you could do like, I might do a Zoom and then like, let's say you and I are on Zoom and we're just sitting here together. And I might just be like, hey, Maria from ABC Lending, in like 30 seconds or less, what do we need to know about rates today?
I like
Like, what
that.
do home buyers need to know about rates today?
Right. Because sometimes there's little videos, and that's what I struggle with. That
Yep.
the little videos grab attention.
Yes, yes. And I love that you said that, right? So it took me years upon years upon years to actually post my first video.
Mhm.
And even today, like here, I can do this all night long. I love this. I'm training, I got strides, but doing a video and posting it is very it makes me very nervous every time.
Mhm.
Every today even like it makes me very I've literally 6 videos I have to post and transparency, I haven't posted them yet
Mhm.
because I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm overthinking it, right? Um Now I know people on here right now and they're totally going to call me out on that, probably call me later this week and be like, you need to post it. So if you're nervous on the videos, but that is the way the world is going, a good friend of mine literally took my phone from me, said, all right, we're doing a quick video. Now I took like, I think, to be honest, like 12 takes. Because I was like, no, I don't like it. Do it again. No, I don't like it. Do it again. I don't listen to my videos back. I don't watch my videos back because I won't post myself if I do. Um, but she knew I was struggling and she took my phone and said, all right, here you go. We're going to do a quick video. And then she posted it.
Mm.
So sometimes you have to take other people to rip off the Band-Aid for you. But in the beginning, if you're not posting at all, start with pictures. You can start with flyers. You can start with the images. One of my favorite websites is keepingcurrentmatters.com. You can also go to the NAR website, National Association of Realtor website. They have so many free things you can just download, post. You don't have to create anything, right? If you're in Command and with Keller Williams, Command actually has social posts as well. It's just, again, it's about doing it.
Do it.
There was a question in the chat box I didn't want to cross over. Do you need a business page to post ads? Yes. If you're going to run ads, so I run Facebook ads in Command. Well, and Instagram. So I'll call them social. I run social media ads in Command. Ads are different. Ads are like you are specifically paying money to get potential leads for the future, right? If you want to do that, you do need a business page. I don't have anything on my business page, just to be totally honest. I mean, I think I have like 3 things on it. I never used it. I don't remember the last time I went to it, but you do need a business page because it has to read that to post the ad. Thank you. That was a great question in the chat box. Someone recommended 3 videos max and post once. Here's the thing. There's a lot of best practices out there. I'm going to share something in the chat box. It is a total rough draft. So you guys are getting like the full on rough draft. I'm not sharing this out in the email later this week. So because you guys are attending, you're getting this. And it is, I went to ChatGPT because I was curious what, I don't want to word it, downloading the document right now as we're talking, what chat would tell me or give me as a 30-day social media plan. So I went to chat and I was like, hey, I'm a newer agent because I wanted to make this for an agent or for newer agents. And I was like, hey, I'm a newer agent, create a 30-day Instagram content calendar. So it made one. And then I was like, ooh, that's a little too professional. It's a little too, it's not my tone. It's not my vibe. Now, again, because I use chat all the time, I kind of knows my vibe. So I was like, make it more me, more casual, add some humor. I want some laughs, right? And then it redid it. I have not gone through this. I literally just had this made. Okay. So I've not gone through it, full disclaimer, to know if there is anything in there that is inappropriate or wrong and shouldn't be posted. So disclaimer for everybody on here is don't just copy paste, please read some of the stuff you might not be able to use. And if it is not you, copy and paste that into chat and tell it what you want, right? So I'm going to share this in the chat box right now with all of you I wasn't planning to share this, but since we're on this topic, I'm like, ooh, I literally just created this the other day. So you're all getting it. Let me put this in chat here. And here we go. All right. There you go in chat. The social media content calendar. Just share with you a little bit about what it looks like. Day 1. Now, again, you don't have to say like, oh my God, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You could say Tuesday, Thursday, but you do want a calendar. You do want to put this in a calendar for yourself, right? So this one here is literally just a selfie. That's all this is, a selfie, right? Day 2 is creating a reel with pictures, carousel reel. Now, if you are like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that is. I would copy and paste this into chat and just say, turn this into just a daily post, right? Or how can I make this something I can just put in my story that's easy? All right. Final stretch here. Final stretch. Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. So again, everything we talked about tonight, we're not done, but everything we talked about tonight was different ways to capture leads, right? Prospecting versus marketing based, being proactive versus passive. The importance of approach, connect, and ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Different ways to do it with seminars and et cetera, et cetera. We're going to dive into open houses right now to close this out. Social media. Social media is going to give you the engagement, right? That's what's going to create a following. And the following is where that's going to be like, wait a minute, Wait, she's in real estate? Oh, look at her. Oh, wait, she's in real estate? Make sure now, unless you have another job that doesn't allow this, so that's my disclaimer to what I'm about to say. Like here in Maryland, we have a lot of people who work in the government that can't do what I'm about to say on social media. Make sure your profile in your social media accounts, whatever you're using, shows that you're in real estate. Do not be a secret agent. No 007s. All right. Okay. Final topic of the night. We're going to tie in again, capturing leads. The number one top source nationwide to get business as an agent is your sphere of influence, your friends and family, people you know, people that know you, right? My hairdresser, I see her every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on my grays. We're not friends. We don't go out drinking, but she knows me. I know her. She's part of my sphere. The second top source nationwide is open houses. It is the second top source. So let's dispel some limiting beliefs before we move into tapping into open houses, right? And I'm going to share with you the open house playbook in the chat box. Actually, I'm going to do it right now as I'm talking about it, so I don't forget it. Open house playbook. Here we go. By the way, if you're with Keller Williams and you're in command and you click on the very top of command has connect. When you go to connect, there's an entire library. And if you go to browse all and type in playbooks, there are playbooks on open houses, events, seminars, AI, social media. Playbooks are these little tiny mini manuals that read to cover because it gives you everything you need to know to be successful with it. So let's dispel some limiting beliefs. One, I don't have a listing to hold an open house. All right, in the chat box, has anybody on air hosted an open house for another agent? Yes or no? Yes, yes. Look at all these yeses. Okay, so we just dispelled that limiting belief right here because all these yeses. You are with a brokerage. We also call it a market center. You're with a brokerage. The brokerage has agents. Now you can only do it in the state of Maryland, DC, and Virginia. You can only do an open house for your own brokerage. You can't do it for just random agents everywhere. Other states, check with your broker. I don't know the laws. So you can absolutely host an open house for another agent. When agents get to a certain production level, they don't want to host their own open houses anymore. They got too much going on. They want someone else to do it. So as an agent, we host it for free. They're not paying us. And our payment, I'll call it that, our gift is the potential lead sources that come from it. I say potential because I have sat in open houses where nobody came. We'll talk about that in a few slides. I don't have signs yet. Okay, two things. Number one, when you list an open house for another agent, yes, you can ask them, hey, do you have signs I can borrow for the open house? They might say yes, they might say no. Two, you can get them on Amazon, you can go to Home Depot, you can go to Lowe's, open house signs, you can get literally overnight. So if you're like, I don't have signs, I can't do an open house, you can order them and get them overnight, and you can just start with really generic ones that are super cheap. Okay. You're an agent, you're starting a business. I do recommend investing a little bit of money to make sure you have the signs and things you need for your business. I may not know the answers to questions visitors have. That's okay. You do not need to know all the answers. You just need to, one, never make up an answer. Don't just make up something random. You'll get yourself in trouble. Two, get the information, get the question, get the answer, and respond timely. Here's what I mean by that. If you have an open house and it's from 10 to 12, and Derek walks in, Derek asks, a question, you're like, wow, that's a great question. Let me make sure I get that answer for you. What's the best number to reach you on? Number one, just got his name and number. Again, now he already filled out the open house thing coming in. We'll talk about that in a few slides, but just got his name and number again. I'm now going to this right when I leave that open house and I get in my car. I am not home yet. I'm not eating dinner. I'm literally sitting in my car. Now, if it's not a vacant property, I'll probably drive my car like a little further out because I don't want to be sitting in front of the house when the owners come home. That's kind of weird. But I'm going to call the listing agent. Hey, now I'm not giving the listing agent Derek's name and number because that's my lead. Hey, one of the attendees asked this question. about the basement or about this or about the roof. The listing agent is going to say, oh, blah, blah, blah. Here's the answer. I'm not even leaving. Again, I'm still sitting in my car. I'm going to call Derek back. Hey, Derek, we met at the open house. Remind them of the open house because buyers never go to one. They go to three. If they're going to one, they're going to multiples. Okay, so you're not the only agent they're meeting that day. I'm going to call Derek back right away. Hey, it was great meeting you at 123 Cookie Road today at the open house. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know one of your questions was about the basement and backdoor situation. I got the answer for you. Here you go. By the way, what has you thinking about making a move? That's really great. Do you currently own or rent? Now we're in conversation. See how that flow went, right? Conversation, bam, buyer. And by the way, yes, it is that easy. Over time with practice. Open houses don't really work because most people look online. If open houses didn't work, it wouldn't be the second top source of top producers nationwide for the past 20 plus years. Proven with research. Okay. It absolutely works. People shop online with their eyes, but then they want to see it. Okay. I won't feel safe. Bring someone with you. I felt that same way in certain open houses areas I did throughout Maryland, and lenders love going to open houses with you. You just need to give them a little notice. Title people love it. You can even bring inspectors with you. I personally like lenders because that's my relationship I really want to build. So I'll always have like 3 lenders that I work with, and one of them is usually available, right? I've brought friends with me. Now they can't help you with the open house, but I brought a friend with me before just to hang out because it was an area I was like, oh, I don't want to go by myself, right? All right, so we talked about this already, the benefits, right? It's inexpensive. Except for buying some signs, you're not paying for anything. Maybe some flyers to door knock around the neighborhood if you have to pay for flyers, but you're not really paying for anything. It's a prospecting tool, meaning, remember that triangle prospecting? People are walking in the door, so you are actively talking, right? So you're getting into action right away. You're not being passive. It has the second highest rate of return, ROI, out of any other lead source. And it's not just buyers, because if you do it right, read the open house playbook for this. When you do it right, you have neighbors that you have door knocked, invited them to come to the open house. And if a neighbor comes to the open house, they might be saying, I'm just nosy neighbor. I'm just curious what the wall color is in my neighbor's house. They're actually coming because they're thinking, this house is on the market for this price. What can I sell my house for? They might not be thinking about selling for another 3 months, 6 months, or a year, but they are thinking about selling. So open houses don't just bring buyers, they bring sellers. When you do an open house, number 1, set a goal. What is your goal for the open house? Right? What I mean by that is, do you want to knock the neighborhood and knock 50 doors? Right? Do you want to, now you can't predict how many people are going to come to your open house. You have no idea. You can just do everything you can to try to drive traffic to it, but you can't control who actually comes. Okay. Pick the house. Now, here's the thing. You as the agent get to choose. So when I coach agents locally, I usually say to them, a best practice is on Monday, look up all of the coming soon and the newest listings, meaning on the market in the past 7 days, 14 days max. Find the ones that are in locations where you want buyers, meaning I'm not going to drive 2 hours for a home for an area I don't want to work with buyers, right? A home on the market, pretty recent, an area that you want to work with buyers in, and a price point you like. Now, in the beginning, as new agents, like, I love all price points. Awesome, right? And then call all those listing agents, and one of them will say yes to you doing the open house. And they'll really respect and like that you called them. But again, you get to choose. Prepare and practice, right? What you want to do, and here's the greatest way to practice this. Just find a random friend of yours. They do not have to be in real estate. Just pick a friend. It could be someone you live with, anybody. And simply be like, hey, um, and even if you're in an apartment, be like, hey, pretend this is my house. Walk in the house. I want to greet you and pretend this is an open house. Just practice. Practice. Go to a model house and walk through it with a friend, right? One of those model homes, I'm talking new builds, right? So prepare and practice. And then most important is capture information. Never host an open house without a sign-in sheet, or I like to use the Command app because now I'm getting it right on my phone right away and it's automatically going in my system. There'll be classes on that if you haven't learned already. But you need some way to get their name, phone number, cannot stress that enough, and email. That's it. That's all you need. Name, phone number, and email. You don't need anything else. You can have conversations, but you don't need anything else to start. Because again, they're not going to just one house, they're going to multiple. The first agent who calls them wins. The first agent who connects with them wins. That's the open house game. So if you're like, I did an open house on Sunday, it's like already Tuesday, I haven't called anybody yet. Your first thing tomorrow morning is to call them. 8:30 in the morning, give them a call. No, that's not too early. Okay, because the other agent probably did. Pick the time and theme. Also be
Yeah.
mindful of the year. What I mean by that is it's football season. So highly recommend not having an open house during prime football time. Don't have it on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, you can during the early part of the day, but not in the evening, right? So just think about time, afternoon, how you want to host it. Wine and cheese open house. I only do that for like luxury homes. Um, I don't actually recommend, I should have deleted this off. This is an older slide. There are too many liabilities with happy hour. Again, unless it's a luxury property or doing a big broker's open with other agents, there's liabilities with that and you can get in trouble. So I don't recommend that. Joe, I'm going to come to you in just a second. And then just know your market. Here's the thing, drive around the neighborhood before the open house. Get to know the neighborhood. What's around there? Are there parks? Are there schools? What are the schools? Look at the um, listing online to read all the information that the listing agent put in on it. Right? Get to know the area a bit. Just honestly jump on ChatGPT and be like, hey, I'm doing an open house at this property. What do I need to know? What are my market stats? And then again, be safe. We talked about that. Joe.
So you talked about model homes. So do we just go talk to like the builder or whoever is at the reception for the builders, and like kind of host an open house there? I mean, how do we approach new construction builds if we want to
That is
market?
a whole class by itself. I'm going to give you the 15-second version. However, you know me and you know my number, so
Yes, we'll
you can
connect.
call me, but I'll give you the 50-second version for everybody else. Um, sorry, everybody, she's in coaching. So builders love agents because we're the ones who bring clients by. Not all builders work with agents, builders love agents. So there's just going into the model home or the sales office there, whatever you can find. Every place is different, and just saying, hi, local agent in the area. Love to host a home buying seminar at your model home. That's always fun. Or hey, I'd love to do, I'm just gonna do a quick tour of the model home and a video for marketing. You're giving them free marketing. They're gonna be like, that sounds great, go ahead, right? You can say, oh, do you ever have agents? I would love to actually host an open house for your model home. Do you ever do that with an agent? Is that something that you would partner with? Again, some will be like, nope. Some will be like, we have an agent we have a contract with that we work with, or someone will be like, yes. Again, you never know unless you ask. So never be afraid to just ask because the worst they can say is, no, we already have an agent we work with, or no, like I bought a new build when I bought my first home. And the sales office they are a licensed agent. So like he wasn't going to have me do an open house or any of that because he, but I didn't know that. So I was like, hey, do you ever do this? He goes, I'm a licensed agent. I'm like, oh, cool. That's it. It was, no big deal. It wasn't like, oh my God. So never be afraid to ask. And trust me, if they do other partnerships, they will tell you like, oh, what about like one of my friends who's an agent, he partnered with a new build and they're building 20 some homes, like $1 million homes. They're amazing looking. And they let him put 4 of them on the multiple listing service. And they let him put four of his for sale signs in 4 yards. Or for sale signs in 4 yards. Right. So, and they, whatever agreement they have, I don't know what the agreement had, but they allowed him to literally partner with them on trying to sell these homes. That's huge, right? A lot of builders will do that with agents. All right. So I ended with, again, be safe. So I know we're 2 minutes over, but I wanted to get to any last minute questions I didn't see in the chat box here. I know a bunch of people had to hop off. Let me just take a look here. Oh, I love that. So yes, when you do an open house, when I used to do open houses back in the day when I first started, I actually had uh, number one, the whole find like locate my phone, right? It's like you can pin your location. So I would give the address and pin to my husband or my friend who she's lives alone. When she would do open houses, she would pin me. So you pin somebody, basically share your location with somebody. And then when I got to the open house, I would text them, hey, I'm here, I've arrived. They knew the open house ended at a certain time, so let's say it ended at noon, right? So they knew that I would be texting them by 12:30. Because, time to close up the house, turn off all the lights, make sure everything's proper. So if I didn't text them by 12:30, they knew to call me. Right. And then I also had a safe word. So if any reason I had to knock on whatever my thing's made of, knock on marble, if any reason my phone called them, but I wasn't able to talk, but I said the certain word, then obviously that would be call 911, right? Call the police. So a lot of agents are really nervous about having those conversations, about having those discussions to just keep safe. And don't be afraid of it. These are very needed conversations to just think through, like, I don't even know what year it is, 2026, right? No matter where we are, no matter where we live, we're dealing with human beings. So we should always, anywhere, be cautious, right? And just not be scared, not do something because we're scared, just be cautious, right? And put things in place to have things in place. It's like when you fly in a plane, they give you all the same instructions over and over and over again every time you fly, right? With the life vest and the whistle and the belt and the, safety things. So cautious. All right. Oh, like that red wine. Yes, exactly. I don't recommend food in homes. I don't recommend, so here's the, I'll share out a few goodies in the email I send at the end of the week regarding open houses, but definitely read that open house playbook. So just to kind of sum things up, again, choose 3 sources that you want to tap into to learn and practice and perfect for where you're going to find leads. Right? Is it your sphere of influence? Is it open houses? Is it doing seminars? Is it going to dog parks 3 times a week because you love dogs? Right? What are you going to do to capture leads? Without that, nothing else matters. You'll never have business. Sorry. Just going to say it like that. So what are you going to do to capture leads? Are you going to tap into open houses? If you are on here as a newer agent, newer meaning you have not closed more than 4 deals. I'm not talking about time in business. I'm talking about deals closed. I highly recommend hosting open houses. It is one of the fastest ways to get business. Absolute fastest. Right? And then the 10-5-1 for social media. 10 likes a day, 5 comments a day, 1 DM. That's getting into your daily social media habit. Then if you haven't posted for tonight, I recommend doing a post, whether it's one of the pictures or something else. And thank you for those doing reaction buttons. I love it. All right. Thank you all so much. Appreciate all the engagement in the chat box. And if you need anything, obviously you have your local brokers, your local support teams where you are, hopefully your coaches where you are. But if you need anything else, I am the one emailing you all the time. So email back. Bye, everyone.